money this game has made. Fire Emblem Heroes does not need more money to continue to create heroes. Not at all. It's not anywhere close to that. This game is wildly profitable. So the belief that you have to spend, like, you don't even have to spend money on this game, and it should have enough saved up for a ridiculous amount of time.
Yes.
Where to?
I mean, first quarter sales alone was over 100 million. What's wrong with a company trying to make money? So that's one of the biggest misunderstandings, apparently, unfortunately. Because the idea is, from a financial standpoint, it's not just about money, because you want a good relationship with your fan base, because a healthy fan base is how a game has continued success. And they're not creating a healthy fan base by constantly pushing out the older fan base in favor of the newer one.
Well, next.
That's the first problem. The second problem is sales aren't directly tied to like popularity of characters at this point. It's more it's tied to, like, you know, the characters themselves, the stats, like their effectiveness, things like that as well. So to continue to argue, it's like Fates and Awakening makes more sense because you'll make more money. At this point, no, that's not even true. You can ask most Fire Emblem Heroes players if they'll buy a hero on the basis of them just being from Fates and Awakening. At this point, it's no. The future's now, old man. Don't say that to me, serious. It took them months to make CYL when it shouldn't have, if what you're saying is correct. Well, yeah, they took a long time for that. CYL was a huge event that they were planning for. And you shouldn't just look at CYL as an example as that. They can't bring obscure characters like Bloom. I hope you're hearing yourself. I really do.
Orders, please.
The expectation should be to sell it to the older fans because they're the ones with the money to spend. The younger fans are not the ones who are spending like hundreds of dollars on the game. So will people leave the fan base? I've heard and talked to people who have gotten sick of the game because the heroes that they wanted, like the heroes of their childhood, never came out. Personally, for me, for someone like me, I'm not interested in any of the banners at all. Whenever I pull on a banner, it's because it's a special heroes banner. Generally, or it's a high rate banner with a great hero on it. At this point, I'm not even looking to see if it's the heroes I want. Like, if they threw out a banner with, say, Lin, a hero that I really like, then yeah, I'll definitely try and pull on it. But outside of that, you know, I'm not going out of my way for Fates and Awakening at all. So people like me are completely untapped, and at this point, like, I've decided not to spend anything on the game. In the first few months, if had they sold me on like heroes that I actually knew about or actually cared a lot about, then yeah, I wouldn't have been a free-to-play player. But I ended up this way because there was nothing interesting for me. The rewards are already coming out. Do you think there will be a Valentine's banner, Nim? Yes, there will be a Valentine's banner. That's the biggest thing. In the next few days. In the next few days, you have to make up your mind on how you spend your orbs, because Hero Fest will be coming after Legendary Heroes. Well, it should overlap briefly, but yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of options available. Legendary Heroes banner, Hero Fest, and the Valentine's banner. Valentine's banner is probably least priority because it's the last banner, so you have the longest time to decide on that and to gather orbs for that. But yeah, don't cut yourself short. But without seeing those heroes first, I can't exactly like recommend anything either.
Where to?
Younger fans, I think, spend more on the game based on the focus of Fates and Awakening heroes.
Yes.
I would be interested in hearing like the business numbers from that. You have to remember, in Japan, they're not like, things are not made by like people on the ground, you know. You kind of expect you kind of expect them to see like, oh, this is really profitable, so we'll go that direction. But in Japan, it's not like that. They're not that simple. A lot of times they do weird things. Like, it's completely business driven. Like, decision is made without care for a lot of specifics, which is why it took like forever for Nintendo to get into mobile games in the first place, because they just ignore like trends and things like that. How long does the hero test last for? It likely will last for 2 weeks. I'm not sure about that, but it should be 2 weeks. If they really wanted to make money, and they'll do this eventually for sure, they'll bring in like small characters from other franchises in the Nintendo universe. So it wouldn't just be Fire Emblem Heroes. That's one of the easiest ways to make a ton of money, in my opinion.
As you say.
Well, well. May my healing help.
So yeah, like from Xenoblade Chronicles, Nims of his tragic backstory. No, come
Where
on.
to?
Honestly, if they're pushing something, chances are it's
really
making money for them. They have actual hard sales data while we only have anecdotal evidence. If you want to believe that, sure. But if you learn anything in business school, it's that you can't sell the same product constantly. If there was ever any indication of them trying something else to even like get hard data, they haven't even done that. I'm pretty sure if it was another business, they would have tried making it out like Special Heroes banners, for example, of just new games.
Here to do what I can.
Because it shouldn't take them so long to reach the other popular games.
Orders, please.
I know Fates and Awakening are popular.
What's up?
What's next?
Surely you guys know the numbers. It is popular, true. But is it wildly popular enough that you are ignoring other games which in total should have overall higher sales? Definitely not.
Yes.
Yes.
Orders, please. Where to?
They don't even have too many Fates and Awakening heroes.
Time to
I can understand that portion of this because you can't push heroes too quickly. Otherwise, people just don't have. Well, they shouldn't push it too quickly for the sole reason of like you'll eventually run out of heroes.
Well, well.
Which seems like something that wouldn't happen for anytime soon. But the plan clearly is to make this game keep this game up for as long as possible. But still, that doesn't mean just stick to the first 2 games. A lot of games are barely touched, which is entirely untapped fan bases. So basically, Heroes is going the wrong direction. They should at least try the other directions. Yes. I don't think it's like I don't mean it's like terrible. Yes. It's a terrible idea. No, I don't mean that.
What's next?
I just mean they could be doing a better job.
Please.
You lead, I follow.
I would pay a fortune just to get Nia from XBC2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yeah, I know. Japan in general is stubborn with lending their assets to other games to make their games. Intelligent Systems is as a second-party developer, so it shouldn't be too hard. But you know, that's something they shouldn't even consider yet when they're hardly selling their own game. I mean, they're already ignoring so much. Should I focus more on using feathers to gain skills on my units or get more merges? Feathers to gain skills? Or gain more merges? Merges is mostly for the sake of making tier 20 arena. So, I don't know what position you're in. The biggest difficulty for most people in making arena is just to have the resources available. So what would be the priority banner then? I think they should really revisit older games that had huge fan bases or like cultivated the love of people in Fire Emblem. So I really like how Radiant Dawn got more exposure lately, but the game itself is still, I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes should still do a lot more than that. Because they should have introduced Lagoos by now, but I think they're taking their time on that on purpose. But yeah, having the Beast class instead of just dragons would be very interesting for the game. It's been a year now, so I thought it would come out within a year.
Here to do what I can.
Your speculation again are based on anecdotes, not any hard sales data. Of course, we don't have any hard sales data. Look, they should at least try it. They don't even have hard sales data, Easy Bowser. Do you understand that? They don't even have it either. Because they haven't done any sales on other games.
Yes.
Okay, I'm somebody who legitimately reads financial reports from Nintendo. They don't release anything at all, dude. You would never be able to make the argument because everything's anecdotal then. So you can never ever doubt what Nintendo's doing? Come on, dude. Have you ever read their financial reports for a quarter? For example, it's so vague. You have zero idea what direction they're going. That's why for the longest time until the Switch came out, nobody had any, like, investing in Nintendo was a shit throw. Like, you had no idea if you're gonna get your monies back or not. It was terrible. Honestly, it makes infinitely more sense for them to sell the game. I mean, sell the older games and, like, introduce people to newer franchises.
Well,
or the bare minimum, give it a try. But they're not willing to commit to it.
Here to do what I can.
What's up?
You lead, I follow.
Wipeout!
Nintendo needs to re-release the old games on the Virtual Console, and to commemorate that, ICE can. Yeah, I mean that seems to be the most sensible thing to do in my books as well.
What's next?
But they haven't done it yet.
As you say.
Oh boy, this run's taking forever.
Here to do
Would it be worth to invest in Nintendo stocks? No. God, no. So here's why you don't invest in Nintendo stocks. First of all, the technology market is incredibly unstable. Alright? One year you're doing really well, next year you're doing like shit, and there's like no forecast on it. It's not like commodities or something where you understand where the market is going. You literally just have no idea where things are going. And that's just how it works.
Yes.
Why do you put off X2? Because I keep getting spoiled on it, so it's not as fun or excited to go into it. Alright, so going back to what I was just saying.
Where to?
Holy crap, I can't even go down that way.
What's up?
Well.
And with Nintendo, they have terrible public relations, alright? Because they're being led in Nintendo Japan, a lot of things they're doing are like way too old school or out of touch with like actual business, which is completely terrible. There's no other way of saying it, it's just completely terrible. So one of the fundamental things is you can't just look at money. If you want to invest in something, you can't just look at money. Like, they're making money now, and then you're just gonna expect them to keep making money. That's not how it works. You have to look at other like weaknesses, competition, and they have tons of competition.
Yes.
Glad to help.
And yeah, friggin' PR. Nintendo's a PR nightmare. Generally a PR nightmare.
Next?
Like, Nintendo's doing a good job when they don't make news articles, basically. And whenever they generally do make news articles, it's always negative. Unless it's for the Switch, which has been selling the fastest selling console, I believe, right now. Ever. Of all time. They have released banners of older heroes, seeing siblings banners of Erica Ephraim. That's a set of 2 of the top 5 CYL heroes. Oh boy. Look, I can explain that, and it's really easy to explain. You don't even have to go back and look at that. You can look at it, you don't even have to look into heroes to tell that it would have done well. Because it was out there in CYL 1, the first voting, and that they did well in. I think the silly thing is you look at every release of a banner that's not from Faith and Awakening, and you think it is them trying their best here, even though the great majority of banners, especially the really valuable banners in special hero banners, are not on the side of what you're talking about at all. But you just literally look at any release and say it's bias giving the other things a chance. Well, yeah, of course they are giving a chance, but barely anything.
Yes. What's up?
Like a marginal effort is in your books a significant effort or
May
something.
my healing help.
And just because
You
two
lead, I
people,
follow.
two heroes made top 2 or top 5 doesn't indicate anything when your top 50 is
Here to
filled
do
with
what I
Fates and
can.
Awakening. Exactly what you've been pushing to the player fan base.
Huh.
The point you were saying is that they haven't released old banners. They clearly have and have data on how well we did. I think you're missing the point. If that's all you think I'm saying. Oh boy. First of all, what I was talking specifically about
Yes.
was the Special Heroes banner, which of course they haven't done for with any focus on older heroes. It's all been Fates and Awakening. I'm not saying they're not going to release any banner on any game that's not Fates and Awakening. God no, clearly they haven't done that. But their focus clearly
What's
is to
next?
sell those newer games. Which is why the frequency of anything original
caring
is
heart has
pulling back to
died.
newer games. Unless you want to look at Bridal Lyn and, you know, Brave Lyn. Well, she's not even a special hero. Bridal Lyn and Bridal Sheeta and
As
call
you
it
say.
like them trying.
Well,
No, they're not trying.
well. May my healing help.
More than half of the top 20 was not Fates or Awakening. We just went over that, man. We literally went over the voting. Literally half of it is.
You lead, I follow.
You go into the top 50,
Yes.
Where
you
to?
can't even say half at that
Orders,
point.
please.
Glad to help. Huh.
Valentine's banner should show their direction going forward. I hope so. I really hope so.
Cannonball!
So is Nintendo going to re-release another game for the series of Fire Emblem? They should. And if we're going to talk about re-releasing games, older games, and seeing how that if that would bring sales,
Yes.
well then you don't have to look further than Alm and Celica. Alm was 4th on mail
you
voting,
say.
I believe, and Celica
Well,
was
well.
1st.
Here
On
to do what
females.
I can.
So if the argument is, oh, selling Fates and Awakening is going to be better
You
for the
lead,
game, no,
I follow.
Orders, please.
clearly not. But again, anecdotal. You're gonna say it's anecdotal evidence because there's no hard data on it. Well, no shit, because they haven't done a banner like that since months ago. They haven't tried it that direction, so there is no hard evidence either way. Good night, Salvador. You seem extra sassy tonight. You okay? Well, it's the voting results. And the annoying thing is, I'm arguing with somebody who's gonna pull out numbers
next?
that nobody knows and going to
What's
argue
up?
with those numbers that nobody knows
Yes.
and argue
Glad to
they're,
help.
they're making the best decisions based on numbers
May
that
my
nobody
healing
knows.
help.
Even though I've looked at, like, generally speaking, I've looked at any numbers I can find. Like game sales, I know those off the top of my head as well. Of course, game sales are like not even perfectly accurate as well, because again, it's going to be anecdotal from based on like what various sites can put together. Because Japan releases actual data, North America releases sometimes actual data. Rest of the
No one
world,
will stand in my
who the
way.
hell knows? So again, like based on that stuff, you can't even argue it if everything's to go back to anecdotal evidence. Because obviously nobody has the actual data.
Orders, please.
Yes. Glad to help.
Yes.
Well, well. Glad to help.
As you say. Where to?
I know, FaZe. I know to play XP. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Don't worry, dude.
Wipeout!
ICE doesn't have the data. ICE has the data for the game itself, but I don't think they pay. Goddamn it, Bowie. They have the data for the game itself, but the issue is they haven't even tried these things to know. Like, for example, would a Special Heroes banner sell well if it does not feature Fates and Awakening? Well, they wouldn't even know because they haven't even done that.
You lead.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yes.
You should help me out with some financial choices later. I actually need help. Alright, sure, no problem.
Yes.
The game is incredibly
Orders,
casual right now. I mean, fine, I get it. It's a collection game. But again, the name of the game is Fire Emblem Heroes, as in heroes from Fire Emblem. But the main focus has always been... There's no need to keep talking about that point, but people don't understand it.
No one will stand in my way.
Look, Fire Emblem Heroes was lauded when it first came out as a great way of introducing people to the fan base to older games. Which, oh crap, where's my QR seal? Oh, I'll put it on Noe.
Glad to help.
As a great way of introducing people to the older games, as to push sales on games that they have already done.
What's next?
Or at the very least, help out with like remakes of sales, like Sales of Valentia. I mean, Shadows of Valentia. Shadows of Valentia. You know, that makes perfect sense to me, of course. Issue is they haven't done that.
Well.
Or they haven't done enough, or they just simply think featuring the heroes in the game with like three lines, literally 3-4 lines,
As you say.
is good enough.
Yes.
I think we've lost. I need the QR
Orders,
seal.
please.
Yeah, we've lost. Why does he even have Poison Strike anyways? Would you be down for choose your villains? Yeah, that would be awesome. They were even surprised Lin wants CYL. I mean, it's pretty clear what they think the fan base is. Alright, not having QR seal cost me that entire thing. That was pretty bad.
Yes.
Let's go. Here I go.
The enemy!
Okay.
Stay close.
Understood.
Yes.
If they're gonna remake a game soon, it's gonna be Binding Blade. I hope so. That's a good game to remake.
The enemy!
But again, I always thought Fire Emblem Heroes, the entire point of it was to funnel people back into the older games. I thought that was the goal, but that apparently isn't the goal. See, it would make a lot more sense if that... Okay, say if their goal was to funnel people back into older games. First of all, release the games on VC, so people have a way of buying the games for like the Switch, for 3DS. Well, the Wii U, hopefully as well, if it even has it. Has any people left on it. And the way you do that is by introducing those heroes in the story, so people have a chance of interacting with them and becoming curious about them. Unfortunately, thus far, like, one of the most memorable things in the story for, say, Seth, for Sacred Stones, was simply Seth arguing at the start about strategy or about what to do. But it was going nowhere, and it was dull and plain. So obviously, that's for most people. Maybe they're interested enough to give Sacred Stones a try or something, but I doubt it. If they give them a real story, like a real tidbit of story, like a real commitment, a goal, a storyline, instead of like, oh, we're under contract, we have to fight these people to free them, then okay. If you just do that, everyone gets into the pattern of just saying, oh, this is another boring same old story. They're not going to pay attention. They just want the orbs at the end of it. So if you do it like that, you're not fulfilling the main goal of Fire Emblem Heroes, or at least the perceived goal, which is to introduce people to other Fire Emblem heroes and then get people interested in their games and then buy the games. That was always like my expectation of what Fire Emblem Heroes should have done, but they don't do that. So of course, if that's the case, you're not going to be incentivized to make older banners, because why would they be interested in heroes that they will have no connection to? And so that you need proper writers to create an environment to sell the newer banners, but they don't have that, unfortunately. So of course then they'll stick to the Awakening and Fates, where they have established stories that they can expect their fanbase to have already played, and that's what they're going to rely on, and it's a safe choice for special heroes, because again, they know people in general won't have connections with the older heroes, so why bother putting them out there? Maybe they look good, maybe they have good stats, and that's really not a safe option for them to sell them on, which is why they've stayed on Awakening and Fates. But it's just a bad circle. They should have expanded further than that. They should have tried harder than that, but they haven't. It's a year in, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Writers cost money, and Nintendo just wants money. But you gotta remember, this game is insanely profitable. Like, this game, if they stop selling any orbs today, could run easily for the next 10 years. They've made that much more money. And I want to be honest with you guys, please look up how much a writer makes. Please look it up, how much a writer makes for video games. I will tell you now, like, this game would not even need a big writer. Like, a couple of writers, it wouldn't even cost that much. And then they they'd actually bring Fire Emblem Heroes to its potential. And if I sound upset this stream, it is because I am. Because, like, the voting just backs up, like, what I initially thought. And unfortunately, I had to argue with Easy Bowser about this stuff as well. And yeah, we don't have hard data. We'll never have hard data. And to just assume ICE is making the correct decision when I just explained that their business plan, that what should have been their business plan, is not coming through, then we have a problem, which is what we're experiencing every day with this game now. It sounds like you're expecting your own personal opinion on the game's incentivized was the only incentive. No, it's not. It's a gacha game. At the heart of it, it's a collector's game, and you gamble for, like, heroes and heroines, and, you know, that in itself is very profitable, of course. But I'm saying, like, what they could have done to bring the game further to meet its potential, and that's really what it should do. So people only can really be interested if they had a longer storyline that we as viewers can connect to. I could be curious if they put in more effort on the storyline. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Are you guys actually satisfied with the current story in the game? Like, it would be very hard. I've never met anyone that has just said, like, I'm happy with the story. Like, I'll wait for a response. The main purpose of the game is to make money. I don't think anyone is emotionally invested in the story. They're not emotionally invested in the story because the writers haven't given an effort to the story. And it's freaking short, right? You can get through a chapter within like 10 minutes because there's literally like 6 lines. I skipped the FEH story, I just like the gameplay. At this point, people have given up on the story, which is a huge lost opportunity. It's a phone game, I don't really care for the story. But again, it's... okay, one thing is like that kind of argument is really poor because some phone games have incredible stories and people draw people in that way. And Fire Emblem can have that. It's not like they don't have the money, it's not that like they don't have the writers, they just don't have the commitment or direction to go that way. Now that the story is actually going somewhere, I'm curious to see where it is going, where it goes. I mean, I read the story, I never skip the story. At the very least, if you're going to be critical about something, you have to give it a chance. And I give it a chance every single time. But the expectation for more, it's starting to come out dry.